Hi, and welcome to Mondays with Marlo. We are so excited to have the great Colin Cowie back. It was so terrific last time. All the questions you answered about weddings, our community loved them.
Yeah, we had a lot of activity around there, didn't we?
It was great.
It was a lot of fun.
All over the place. But this one is different. This is about summer parties and decorating, which everybody's thinking about now.
And we're doing it morning, noon, and night while
Yeah.
the sun is still shining.
That's right. And
And this
barbecues.
has been a great summer.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
how many
right.
times we've had weekend summers where the weekends have been bad and the
Right.
weeks have been good?
Right.
We've had like 6 great weekends in a row.
Great. We've been
And
entertaining.
counting.
We've been entertaining all the time. We have tons of questions, so we're going to get started. This is from Gloria. Gloria wants to know, what is the most common mistake you see people make when it comes to decorating for a party? What just drives you up the wall?
One thing drives me up the wall is when people make tall centerpieces.
Oh, right.
There's nothing worse when someone has a centerpiece that's so tall that you can't look directly into the eyes of somebody else.
That's right.
So my rule of thumb, centerpiece is never more than 12 inches high, or it's 18 or 25 inches
then
high.
you can see- you're right.
But you have to have clear vision looking into one
That's
another's
right.
eyes, because that's where you can connect at the dinner table.
Brilliant. Oh, that's so good. And that's good for fundraisers, too. This is from Michelle. What are the 3 most common mistakes people make in interior design?
For me, the most common mistake in interior design is when people consider aesthetic over function. The room has to work first. What is the purpose of the room? Get it to work first, and then design and decorate around it. I think the other thing that's important is don't treat anything too precious. You know,
Yes.
anything you put in your home, you should be able to put your feet up on, put the glass down, enjoy things. Don't treat things as precious objects.
That's great.
And lighting is very important. You know,
Yes.
you want to make sure that you have beautiful skin tone friendly lighting on your guests. What you don't light will fall away.
So what's a good color for skin tones?
Good color for skin tone: peach, rose, any of the warmer colors, reds, ambers, chocolate. You never want to put green or blue anywhere near anyone. Otherwise they're going to look
really?
like they're Mars, or they come from the wrong part of the world.
Okay, that's good. This is from Camilla. Hello, Camilla. Welcome. What are some of your top outdoor summer dinner party don'ts?
I think when you're outdoor entertaining, it should be casual and should be relaxed. So do it and set yourself up in advance so that you can be outdoors without having to run indoors every 5 minutes.
Right.
Don't think of serving a chocolate souffle outside, particularly
Right.
if it's to come from the inside.
Right.
You know, work with a menu that's going to keep you more stuck at the table rather than glued to the kitchen.
Right.
I think that's what's important.
Right. And in the winter, you always have to have chafing dishes. So in the summer, you have to have things just put on ice?
You know what I like to do in the summertime? I'm a big believer. If food should be hot, it should be hot. If it
Right.
should be cold, it should be cold.
Right.
If you're entertaining outdoors and you want to do a 3-course meal, make sure the first 2 are chilled or room temperature. So you only have to bother about 1 being hot and served correctly.
That's good, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we want all of you hosts and hostesses to be as relaxed as possible.
Right.
You don't want to add stress to the occasion.
And you want to have fun.
Yes, so that's why I love to serve things family style. So you sit at the table and the food is there, you pass it around.
Right.
You're glued to the dining room chair, not chained to the kitchen stove.
Right. Or you like a buffet, right?
Or you like a buffet, or more importantly, just be resourceful. I think today's savvy entertainers are resourceful entertainers.
Right.
Go and buy the food from the best gourmet deli store, put it on your beautiful tray and serve it.
Right. I think you're so
You
right.
get no medals for chopping, slicing, dicing, and peeling and doing it all yourself.
Good, because I don't do it. I'm glad.
As long as you know how to order,
That's
then
right.
you can take all the credit.
I'm a room service girl.
And I don't think anyone cares today,
No,
Marlo,
they don't,
if you
no.
cook it yourself or
No.
not. We all know that people are running 3 different careers and jobs and kids and everything
Yeah.
else. It's all about doing it versus not doing it.
And also bringing people together. That's the big deal.
That's why we entertain.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So much comes out of that.
This is from Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Any tips on summarizing your home without breaking the bank in a way that you can easily change your home back when fall comes?
Absolutely. Like in the summertime, maybe you roll up your winter rugs and you put down sisal.
Oh,
You know?
nice. Yeah.
Maybe you get a gorgeous white jean slip cover and you put that over your sofa because
Right.
it's much more casual entertaining.
Right.
Put some different colored pillows on there that brighten up. Change your lampshades.
Oh, right.
Go now about a couple of different fragrant candles, maybe more that are citrusy based versus those heavier tones.
Oh, that's so good.
And get a new playlist, a new pair of heels, and you look good.
You know everything. I just love you. You just know everything. This is from Stephanie. Oh, this is good. What is one thing that can totally ruin the look of a room?
Bad lighting, without a doubt. You might sit at the most beautiful room by daytime, but what's not highlighted by nighttime with light
Right.
is going to fall by the wayside
Right.
completely. It just goes into the dark.
And you have to have three, somebody once told me this, you have to have three levels of light, like something on the floor to light the plants, something on the table that would light the middle of the room, and then some overhead light.
Yes, and I also like, that's true, but I also like 3 levels of lights. Because you want to have something that's kind of bright enough to read in,
Right.
something that's more relaxed to have dinner in, and something that's a bit later to maybe make out in.
That's right.
All right?
You
know,
gotta have
darker,
that.
good, better, and best.
You got to have
No,
that.
but it's seriously, lighting, that's why I think is so important. You know, a dimmer switch costs $20. You
Right.
should have a dimmer switch on every single light in
Yes.
your house. When you walk into the bathroom, you want your guests to feel comfortable, not like they want to jump.
Right. No, I even have a dimmer in my kitchen. Okay, this is for Jonathan.
But you know, you just asked a good question there. In your kitchen, and the kitchen is the most important part of our houses today. There was a time when people entertained just in the dining room and outside.
Right.
When the kitchen was meant for cooking. Today we do homework in the kitchen.
Right.
We meet with the family in the kitchen. We spend most of our meals in the kitchen.
Right.
We pay bills in the kitchen.
Right.
So the kitchen's become
Yes,
like the heart of the
it-
home.
it is.
So to have a dimmer switch in the kitchen is one of the most important places because that's where you want to look good at all times.
That's right. And also, you don't want it to ruin your eyes. I mean, I sometimes feel if I go into a really bright room, it doesn't feel good.
It's like you're feeling at the
Yeah,
dentist.
exactly.
The last thing you need is another examination
exactly.
when you're at home.
This is from Jonathan. Hi, Colin. I'm planning on a summer barbecue for some friends, and I'd really like to spruce up my back patio for the event. Do you have any suggestions on some decor ideas for my back patio that won't cost a fortune?
Well, the great idea with the fun summer barbecue at night time are those stringer lights. I love stringer
Yeah,
lights.
I do
They're
too.
very inexpensive
Right.
to do, and they give you instant
The
ambiance.
little paper ones, you mean?
You can use the paper ones from you get them from Chinatown,
Right,
the,
right.
the Chinese lanterns.
IKEA has them.
Yes, or you can also just get the long lights just with little stringer lights
Oh,
on
yes,
them, and
right.
you plug them in from tree to tree. It's a great way to go.
Right.
I think it's all about lighting, Jonathan. The other thing that I love Tiki Torches, and I love them for two
Oh, I do
reasons.
too.
For there's something very mesmerizing about an open flame, but if you put citronella oil in there, it's going to keep the mosquitoes away.
You can get those at Home Depot.
You can get those at Home Depot. You can pretty much get them everywhere.
Yeah,
They're
those are
inexpensive and they're fun to do. And also, if you go to stores like IKEA, if you go to stores like Pottery
Pottery
Barn,
Barn does it.
absolutely, Pier 1, Crate and Barrel, they've got great cushions. They've got inexpensive runners, table mats, placemats that you can get a new look by spending very, very little
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
It's kind of like, I think, when it comes to outdoor entertaining, I have a look for like indoors and I look for outdoors.
Right.
If you go to IKEA and you like a good stripe, I can't resist a good stripe, as you noticed. But they have navy and white, they have
do.
red and white, they have green and white, they have black and white. It's $7 a yard, and you just buy it, one of them to put on tables and buffets.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I do that too. This is from Cindy. My son's birthday is always the hottest day of the year. This year he wants to have a pool party at home, which I'm dreading because it's going to be so hot. Do you have any ideas how I can keep the kids and the parents cool while still allowing the kids to have a great time by the pool?
Absolutely. First of all, I think it's about having lots of cold beverages on hand. So when you can have kids and adults together, I love those big beverage servers. You know, I've sold like 70,000 of them on Home Shopping Network.
Right.
And we have them so you put the chiller inside so it keeps the beverage cool without diluting the drinks. So you can set up an Arnold Palmer, you can set up a couple for the kids, you can have a couple spiked for the adults. So lots of cool beverages on hand is a really good one
For
to have.
sure.
Definitely. And what else do we have got going on?
Well, I guess you need some umbrellas, right? You can't just all sit in the sun.
Umbrellas for the shade, I
Right.
think is an important one. Lots of cushions to keep people comfortable.
Right.
And since the kids come with a bunch of pool games, there's some great pool games to keep the kids in the pool.
Right, that's
which
right,
I think is
that's
good.
right.
And for a birthday cake, make sure it's an ice cream birthday cake. You'll keep everybody chilled.
That's right, an ice cream cake. That's a good idea. This is from Sue J. How do you say no to someone you've invited who wants to bring their teenage daughter instead of their wife to your dinner party? I don't want to be rude, but I don't know anyone in middle age who wants to sit next to a teenager. It's a very good question.
This
happens to me.
This is a really good question. I'm going to make this a little bit broader. First
Okay.
of all, when you invite someone to your home and invite another couple, you invite them as a couple. It's not their choice to give you a
Right.
substitute. And Sue, I would call back and say, you know, the nature of the conversation at the table is going to be adult conversation. Who knows which way and direction it's going to go? And I've built my evening around my adult friends, not your daughter. And I think it's in the best interest of your daughter not to be present.
Very nice. Oh, wow.
I really have a deal. You know, when I've set the table, now this, I'm going to expand upon this. When you set the table and you've got everything ready, you plan your menus, oh, do you mind if I bring 2 extra house guests
Oh,
with
I know.
me? And I said for 12 and I don't have 14. And then I just say no, and just start all over again.
I know.
I've learned to say no.
That's very good.
It's one thing if you're out in the Hamptons and it's a casual barbecue,
Oh, right,
but when
you're
you're doing
all
a
over,
dinner or
yes.
something, it's a different story.
It is, really is. That's a very good idea. This is from Claire. Hi, Colin. I'm hosting a weekend getaway for some of my friends at my beach home, and I was wondering if you had any tips on how to prepare the home before my guests arrive.
I love this question. Clay, nobody loves like playing hotel at home more than I do. I think a delicious bed with fresh pressed sheets or clean sheets is the best way to make somebody feel welcome.
Of course.
I love the fact that next to the bed, make sure there's a carafe of water and a clean glass.
Right.
Put a bit of fruit there and maybe a little chocolate amenity or something. I love the idea in the bathroom, if it's a shared bathroom, make sure that everything is cleaned out. There's fresh towels for them. All those amenities from your travels, make sure there's fresh soap, some shampoo, body wash, etc., etc. Just like you would be in a hotel. How you get made to feel comfortable in a hotel, make them feel comfortable in your home. And the most important one for me is I have a little note in my home. It's like 2 pages, and I put the guest's name and say, welcome, I'm so excited that we're going to spend this week together. We're free on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're having dinner together, because that way a well-informed guest is a happy guest.
Right.
Then tell them what the internet code is, what the fax number is, what the closest cross street are,
Oh.
where can you find the local frost and manicures.
That's great.
So instead of having to ask you every 5 minutes, your most 20 frequently asked questions as a host are already there for them.
That's great.
By being proactive to make them welcome.
That's great. And don't forget some flowers.
Fresh flower always makes you feel welcome.
I always like that. This is from Bridget. I'm planning an end of summer barbecue and I want to invite all my friends, but they're different groups and not everyone knows each other, and I'm worried I'll spend the whole day making sure everyone is having a good time. Are there any tips on how to have a party and encourage strangers to mingle without worrying about it?
First of all, I think that when you have a big party like this, set up a big beverage station so guests can find themselves to a cocktail with a bunch of those beverage servers. Put your glasses out, your ice bucket and everything. The most important thing, the first thing you do when you welcome guests is offer them something to drink.
Right.
Okay? You only have to offer the first drink.
Right.
So I think this way they'll find their way to the watering hole. Right. I think as the host and as the hostess, you just need to make sure that you walk around from one group to the next group saying, oh, Marlo, I know you just went to Costa Rica. Now you're going to Costa Rica and get these two talking.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like spinning plates.
Right.
Just introduce people to one another.
Right,
and before you know it, 3 cocktails later, the ice is broken and you'll get back and sit back and enjoy your guest party completely.
Absolutely. I do this all the time because I have some people who are in show business and then people who are like in lawyers and things. And I always worry, are they going to have a good time? Are they going to be bored by this person? But you do find those common places.
And I think what makes it work is, if you have delicious appetizers, if you have some great snappy music, you have a well-stocked bar and a colorful guest list, those are the 4 ingredients that you need for success when it comes to entertainment.
Right.
Put those together, work the first hour, and it'll take on its own path and journey for the next.
And the music is important.
Completely.
I like having really strong music when they first
you want
enter.
music that's got a rhythm that keeps your foot moving. My rule of thumb is from the time you arrive to the time you leave, the music never stops.
That's right.
Unless you're making a toast to welcome or thank your guests.
That's right. We should give a party together.
I'd be delighted.
Okay, this is from Stan.
And invite all of you.
That's right. What are good portable foods to take on an all-day beach hangout for 10 people?
Okay, so we're definitely not taking tuna tartare with us or anything that's going to spoil.
No.
So I like the idea of doing like hearty sandwiches, like a roast beef sandwich, a tuna sandwich, wrapped in the
cellophane, like.
Yes, or the greaseproof paper, because when you cut them in half, the sandwich doesn't fall apart.
Great.
I love also the idea of taking, like for dessert, things like brownies, like fruit. Take a bowl of ice, big bowl of cherries is a fun thing to do. And of course, if you can barbecue, it's the best way to do it because it's as tasty and as delicious as possible.
And what about salads? Can you take portable? I mean, would
Yes, you can.
pasta salads move along well?
Pasta salad works really well, and you can find incredible items at the Container Store where there's a frozen ice pack in the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And you put your salad on top and your salad stays still real fresh. So instead of using leafy salads, use things like romaine lettuce, use things that are crunchy, use a pasta salad, put a bean salad together, things that are not going to spoil too easily and going to hold themselves up real well. Coleslaw goes a long way.
Yes, it does.
And of course, there's nothing better than a good piece of fried chicken.
Right, no, that of
at
course,
room temperature.
Of course. This is from Lily. I'm going to a housewarming of a friend. She didn't register anywhere. What should I bring?
I love to bring something to the host's house that they don't feel that they have to use that on that particular moment.
Right.
Okay.
You mean like a bottle of wine?
Yes, I could bring a bottle of wine, bring a fabulous, one of your favorite CDs, bring a great book, a great bottle of olive oil, send them a wonderful beverage server.
And scented candles. I love getting
You
scented
can.
candles.
I love scented candles.
I really do.
It's the best way to burn money. Let's be real. And a bottle of champagne. You can never go wrong with a bottle of champagne.
Right.
What you don't bring is don't arrive with a bunch of flowers in your hand, because now your hostess has to go from hostess mode to put on the yellow gloves, start snipping stems, finding a vase to arrange them prominently,
you're so
because you've already set the house and you have the flowers where you want them. If you're sending flowers, send them in advance saying, I've so looked forward to seeing you. Thank you for your lovely, kind invitation. Or send them the day after, thanking them for the wonderful
Right,
time
you're
that
so
you had.
right. No, I hate when people bring flowers.
And don't arrive with a baked pie that she feels compelled to have to serve because it might not work with her menu.
That's right. That's great. That's great. This is from Wendy. I'm in a wedding this summer, but the bride is very lax about what the bridesmaids are wearing. She didn't give us any color guidelines. She's easygoing, but I have no idea what to get. It's good because I don't have to buy a bridesmaid material dress, that I'll never wear again. But so what should I do? This is a new thing. I've been hearing about this.
But I think basically the bride has set the precedence here.
Right.
She's really said, the love is more important to me than the aesthetic of what you're going to wear.
Right.
So I would have one more conversation that just give me a hint, give me a color.
Yes.
And that way you can run with
Right.
the color. That way it's going to complement it. But
Right.
it seems to me that she's more interested or more concerned with the bride is. This doesn't seem to be very important to the bride. I think
Right.
the bride's more concerned about having Wendy there at her side rather than what Wendy's going to wear.
But I went to a wedding where the bride just told the bridesmaids to just pick pastels. And it was so much prettier to see a group of women standing there in the best clothes for them. So, when everybody wears the same dress, there's always one heavy-set woman that looks awful in it.
Correct. Not everyone's a two.
That's right. Everybody looked great in their own style and in a pastel. And it was much prettier than everybody lined up in a green dress.
One of the big trends we're seeing today is like pick, for instance, one color scheme. So you
Right.
can pick anything from lilac to eggplant.
Right.
Okay. As long as that color scheme
Yes.
works, then what you'll do, they can pick any dress in that color, but make sure the shoes are the same and the
Right.
bouquets are the same.
Right.
Because that way it unifies the whole
Right.
look.
That's nice.
And there's a great website out there called cocomiles.com. COCOMYLES. You can pick from size 2 to size, I think it's 22.
Right.
You can pick 24 different colors, 10 silhouettes for the top,
Wow.
8 silhouettes from the bottom,
Wow.
3 different hemlines, wrapped, beaded, or embroidered, delivered to you within 5 weeks from anywhere from $150 to $250.
Oh, that's so
And they don't
great.
look like bridesmaids' dresses.
That's great. This is from Asher. Do you have any really great hostess gift ideas? My friends are always hosting weekend getaways. Oh, and we kind of said this. So what do we bring instead of a bottle of wine or some flowers? But you said the creative hostess gift was...
Also, you might find someone who loves tea. So send them a
Right.
teapot and 5 of your favorite selections of teas in a
that's
great
nice.
book.
Right.
You can give like a fun experience gift.
Right. And I like CDs. I love getting music.
Yeah, if you're giving CDs, of course, if you can give me a couple of movies and
Right.
a couple of things of
Right.
popcorn.
Right. Great.
So you get kind of the idea of giving the experience. You can never go wrong with champagne or fragrant candle for that matter.
This is from Don. I'm planning a surprise party for my parents' 35th wedding anniversary. I want to do something different at the party, something that will really surprise them that they'll remember. Are there any tips? The party's in late August.
Why don't we make one long table, Don, and have 35 couples at the long table? And each one of those couples can be from your parents' lives, starting with your kids and the friends before and that came after. Then maybe what you do is ask each guest to prepare a wish for your parents. And each one of those wishes can be given together, and you can actually print those on a napkin.
Oh, that's nice.
So every guest gets to take away all the combined wishes.
Oh, that's great.
And maybe what you can do is take the original cards that they provided on and put them into a box and present that with your gift to your parents with the gift on their 35th wedding anniversary of all the collective thoughts from their family and friends.
How did you think of this? My goodness.
And maybe what we could do is get them to renew their vows at the same time.
Oh, that's sweet.
Because
But
if they lasted 35 years, God knows they might have another 35 in them.
That's right. That's great. I love the idea of everybody having a wish and letting everyone take that home. That's
Yeah.
great. That's wonderful. And it kind of organizes the toast, too.
Absolutely,
So
because
isn't
now
it-
everybody participates.
Right, exactly. This is from Kaylee. Hi, Colin. I wanted to know what your thoughts are on rooftop parties. I have a big roof, and we barbecue up there, and I want to throw a get-together. It's gated, so it's very safe. How do I organize and decorate, and what about coming downstairs to use the bathroom? That's
Well,
interesting.
Okay, so let's just start with this. Katie, I have a roof and I entertain whenever the sun is out. Whether it's sunset cocktails in the evening or a big barbecue for 34 people on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's my favorite way to entertain. I bring everything up at one time because I have a little elevator that brings it up for me. And then once everything's up there, I do my cooking and bring things up that are easy to work with, like barbecue, your salads are pre-prepared, so that you only have to make a couple of trips. And with regards to the bathroom, I'm afraid I only have one answer that you got to go downstairs. 'Cause you ain't going over the side, not in Manhattan.
Because nobody has a bathroom on the rooftop, so you have to go down.
You have to go on flight of stairs.
Yes.
But I mean, that's no big deal today.
That's
And I
right.
think, and also, if you're entertaining in a building on a rooftop, I think people anticipate that type of idea.
Right.
It's not an inconvenience. The most important thing when you entertain people is to make them feel welcome and comfortable. And the way to do that is to offer them a great cocktail the moment they arrive, set up a great bar where they can help themselves. You don't have to make the one drink, and make it a very easy menu. Something that's finished off the grill, tossed salads, great bread, some grilled asparagus, and you're good to go.
Good to go. This is from Foley. My son is going off to college at the end of the summer, and I want to throw a send-off party. What are some suggestions?
But I think, Freddie, I think the one thing you want to do is make sure that this is all about your son. So we don't have much information to go on here, but depending where he's headed to and what he's headed to, maybe you build a party and theme it around that. If he's a big football fan, give it a football theme.
Right.
And maybe have each one of your friends come with a great wish for what they want him to achieve in the next year. And maybe we go around the table and each person gets to make a great toast to him, really bringing
Right.
some meaning to it rather than
Yes.
just having a party where we eat and drink.
Yeah, I think that's great. Whatever his interest is, if it's science or math or sports, make it around
Build
that.
it around there. So
Yes.
that starts with the DNA of him.
Right.
And maybe there's a Polaroid. We take a picture of each person and they write a wish on the back of it, put those in a bag and hand them to him. So when he does go, he's taking the collective love, memories, and good wishes of his family and friends.
Oh, that's sweet. I love that. This is from Little Bear. I want to repaint my living room to open it up for the summer. I have a lot of windows. What are some easy ways to brighten up a room? So she wants to repaint.
I love the idea that you are open to repainting because it's the easy thing in the world to do is to paint a wall. Some people think
Yes.
it's such a big commitment, but really it's just paint a brush and it's about 4 hours of work. So if I were you, I would take a step back. And Little Bear, I would think, what is the big picture of what I want it to look like? So go through a bunch of shelter magazines. One color is going to stand out that you love. Then decide, is it the whole room that needs to get painted or is it just one particular feature wall? Then continue to go through the magazines. Pick up some lampshades in that same color. Pick up a couple of objects, one or two vases, and maybe a couple of pillows, so that color scheme ties together with what you're trying to do. So you don't have a foreign color that lands on the walls.
Right. And you like pinks and lavenders and
Well, in the summertime, look at the beautiful yellow that you're wearing
Yes,
right now. I
right.
think so. To wear any of these summery colors, bright, watermelon, mango, these summery pastels. White is also one of my favorite
Right,
colors in
yes.
the summertime. You can't go wrong with it. And you add colors like turquoise and lime green.
oh, pretty.
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful. Very islandy to have turquoise and white together.
Yes.
I love that. I
Well,
also,
turquoise, white, and straw is very beautiful.
yes, I was
very
gonna say
chic.
that sand color. I love that color. This is from Becky. I live in a small apartment, really small, but I still love to entertain. Do you have any tips on making the most of my small space for dinner parties or small get-togethers?
Becky, when I first moved to New York, I thought I was going to have a little apartment here, and I'd be, 1 week here and 6 weeks in California. It would have turned around immediately. I spent 6 weeks here and 1 week in California. I fell in love with New York City, and I had this very small galley kitchen, but I've always had a love of entertaining. So I would make big one-pot, one-shot wonders. So I'd make like a big casserole with a couscous that just comes from the oven to the table. I'd buy large formats of wine, so it's very simple, a big green salad, and that was it.
Very good.
And even if you're not a big chef or a big cook, take your Pyrex dish, drop it off at your favorite Italian restaurant, ask them to make a lasagna in it, a chicken pot pie in it, a great casserole
that's
in
a
it.
great
Put it
idea.
straight in your oven, from the oven to the table.
Great.
Put a big tossed salad out, and and when you make your beverages, serve your wine. I love those big format wine bottles.
Right, yes.
And make one cocktail. So when your guests come in, you're not offering 15 different drinks. I made a great South Sea Island or Long Island Fizz, whatever it might be.
Right.
And that way you're having a chic, elegant, and you don't feel like you're running 20 different dishes.
And
And
then-
it's really effortless. I called my very first book that I wrote called Effortless Entertaining.
Oh, that's great. I have
Because
to get
I
that.
think that a natural sense of elegance comes when it's effortless.
Yes.
But we work in a small space and we try too hard, we set ourselves up for failure.
Right.
And it really is about keeping it easy.
Another thing, and I don't know if you agree with this, but I had a teeny little apartment when I first moved out of my parents' house. And when I gave a party, I would take some of the furniture to my neighbor so that I could have
Or
more.
put it in the stairwell.
Yeah, so that I could have more
In the
walking
fire
space.
escape.
Yeah, and it really worked because you have all these chairs and things. But if you put 30 people in the room,
It fills up very quickly.
Yeah. So, do you approve of that?
Yes.
This is from Laura. Hi, Colin. I'm holding my son's first birthday party next weekend in my backyard, and most of the attendees will be adults. How do I decorate for my son's birthday without making everything look too juvenile?
Laura, I think we need to understand one thing. It's your son's birthday. So it should be decorated juvenile. Even if he's not going to remember, we're here to honor him, and your friends are here to honor him. So I think it's really about making it look like he would expect it or want it to look like. Of course, you can serve the adult spiked cocktails and adult food, but make it look like your son's birthday.
That's such good advice. Such good advice. This is from Lorraine. The decor in my house is looking really drab lately, and I'd like to spruce things up, but I don't have much money. What can I do to give my house a little more life without breaking the bank?
I love Lorraine's ploy to go from drab to fab. Okay. I would say, great style comes from ruthless editing. If maybe there's one predominant color that you could remove from the room and maybe replace it with another color, pick one wall and make that a feature wall and paint that wall, or maybe put a wallpaper finish on that wall that's got a pattern that you love. And again, pick up some colored pillows, maybe it's a lampshade, one or two beautiful vases, and start to introduce a new color scheme into it that you're really going to love. And you find all the stores today are working so hard to bring us great merchandise at great style at the right price point.
Right.
It does not cost a lot of money
It
today
really
to
doesn't.
reinvent a room.
It
really
really doesn't.
For less than a couple of $100s, you can get a room painted, or you can get a feature wall painted, you can pick up some pillows, a lampshade, and a couple of objects.
Yeah, no, I see them all the time. This is from Justin82. I live in a small apartment, very small. What are the 3 cool things I can do in a small space to add character and charm?
It's interesting. I think when you work in a small space, you want to have one big idea. So
Oh.
maybe it's like one big sofa, or it's one big chair, or something to anchor the space. Okay, and then build around that. I also love the idea to give it character. Find like a very bold wallpaper, maybe it's a retro paper or something, and just do one feature wall with it.
Yes.
Because it's going to walk in and give you a statement. I think the most important thing is not about the size. I think it's about the energy that you create within a space like that.
What about mirror?
Love mirror. And the idea of working, if you have a real small space, either do the opposing wall in mirror,
Right.
and you'll repeat the size of the room completely.
Absolutely.
And mirror gives you the illusion of opening up a space,
Right.
without a doubt.
It's like having a window.
Yes,
Yeah.
that wasn't there.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is from Tall Girl. What do you think of painting accent walls for a splash of color? Is that trend over by now? And if not, how do I know which wall to accent and which color to go with? I'm totally clueless. Well, you've already told us that trend is not over, that doing one wall, a featured wall, is a good idea.
I think it's more interesting than painting the entire room the
Yeah,
same color,
yeah.
because I think you get the contrast of putting like different colored picture frames and things upon
Right.
it. Usually what it is, it's the feature wall. It's kind of like usually the most important wall, either in front of you or the wall behind you. I wouldn't use a wall that's insignificant, because then it's not going to have any impact. And as far as color is concerned, look and see what the shelter magazines are showcasing. You're going to find what's big on trend at the moment. Like the biggest trend color at the moment we're seeing is tangerine. We're seeing it.
Oh, really?
Tangerine, deep dark turquoises, more intense colors right now. And combining a lot of those colors together.
Right.
Like deep teal together with emerald green and a shot of tangerine.
Yes.
It's very beautiful. That adds tremendous character to it.
And it's very pretty if it's bordered in white then.
And
it
it,
really
yeah, because
stands.
then it will pop.
Yeah, I like that. This is from Maria Connolly Whitmore. How do you bring back the Roaring 20s for a party and also for decor?
Have all your girlfriends wear fringe.
That's right. And no alcohol. That's right.
Exactly. Make sure. Well, this is like a prohibition party.
That's
So you can really build on this theme. And you can have a lot of fun. I would have what could also be fun to do. Like halfway through the party, put out suspenders for the guys,
right.
put out feather boas for the girls.
Right.
Play that
Fun.
kind of music.
That's great.
Set up a photo booth.
Oh, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
That's good. Invite us. This is from Krista. What is the best meat to have at a barbecue?
Well, in America, we know it's burgers and dogs, but I have to tell you, my favorite meat to cook on a barbecue is get the butcher to take a leg of lamb, to debone it and butterfly it. So you've now got this flat piece of lamb like this. Take about 2 cups of rosemary and parsley and 3/4 of a cup of garlic. Put that in a blender with about 4 tablespoons of mustard and a bit of olive oil to make a thick green paste, and black pepper, no salt. Make this, put the rubber gloves in your hand and massage this into the lamb.
Into the lamb.
Let it sit for 12 hours. Then salt it well with rock salt and cook it on a hot grill with the lid on it for 15 minutes. Turn it for 15 minutes and let it rest for 5 minutes. Slice that lamb, serve with lemon juice and a green salad, and your guest will be invited back time and time and time again.
Oh, my gosh.
It is so delicious.
It sounds great. I'm Lebanese. We love lamb.
Me
Lamb
too.
is but you're a chef as well as everything
I
else.
published 2 cookbooks,
I didn't
and
know
I cook
that.
and I cook in my home all the time.
didn't
I have a
know.
full functioning kitchen in my house. I never entertain in restaurants.
What are your cookbooks called?
Effortless Elegance and Dinner After Dark. Sexy, sumptuous supper soirees.
Oh, wow. This is from Jeannie Kime. Colin Cowie is amazing. I would love to know how he would plan an upscale picnic. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Well, I just did this on the Today Show
yes?
last week.
Uh-huh.
And I think when you plan a picnic, you want to make sure there's a couple of good tips over here. First of all, make sure you got the right picnic spot. So you want to get
Yes.
there earlier rather than later.
Right.
Because sometimes the good ones go kind of quickly.
Right.
Make sure it's not too far from the bathroom. Make sure that you've got shade. Take a couple of garbage containers with you so you can leave it as clean as you want it afterwards with all
Right.
the recyclables taken care of as well.
Right.
I love the idea of taking big sheets. You can get sheets today for $30 a sheet. Go to any one of these discount stores, pick a color and put all the sheets down as your ground cover.
Great.
It keeps everything nice and clean. Use dish towels for the napkins because invariably
Yeah.
and you get to use them again.
Right.
And everybody needs a good set of new dish towels. They're inexpensive, they're fun to use.
Right.
Get lots of handy wipes. The other thing that's really important, I like to take a chiller box with me.
Yes.
And I like to put all the insect repellent and the suntan lotions inside there.
Oh, that's great.
Because it keeps them cool and it keeps them fresh.
That's right. And they're
Otherwise
there for
don't
everybody
work.
who didn't bring them.
Absolutely. A couple of citronella candles around the side because I don't know about you, but I'm an all-you-can-eat buffet to anything that likes the human.
I know. That's great. And what kind of food do you think goes up
What
for,
kind of
for
food
an
would come-
upscale?
for an upscale one? So you could bring out a big thing of crushed ice,
Right.
Okay, which is really easy, a bag of ice, and do like a raw bar. Do some stone crabs, do some poached shrimp,
how
do some
great.
oysters on the half shell.
idea.
Because that you serve as soon as you get there, so that's
Right.
not going to spoil.
So it's not just all sandwiches. I think that's
No,
what
but
this
you said an
woman is
upscale
saying.
one.
Yes.
Okay, and the other one wanted an easy one.
Right.
So to do this upscale, I'd started with a fabulous raw bar.
That's great.
You could either do something that's barbecued, or if it's not barbecued, maybe what you do then is I would bring out maybe a whole salmon or pieces of poached salmon.
Yes.
And do that with a lovely yogurt and a cucumber
Love that,
sauce
love
and a
that.
cold slaw, something really elegant. A cucumber salad, you can't go wrong.
Oh, poached salad in one of those coolers. That'll stay very
Yes,
nicely
absolutely.
for several hours. Valerie, what's the best alcohol to bring for an outdoor party?
Abundance.
Always a good
No,
idea.
very. I think what really works well. Make a fabulous drink that you make a big batch of. That all you have to
Yes,
do is
like
add ice and
margaritas
serve.
or something.
Like a margarita or
Sangria.
Sangrias are my favorite because
Me
they're
too.
really fun in the summertime.
Right.
You can't go wrong, and they're all made in advance.
And, well, I think we already answered
Yes.
this. How do you make it more elegant? Okay, this is from Sticky Rice. How do I make the bathroom festive, too, for my guests when I have parties? How do you carry the theme of the party through to the bathroom?
Okay, so one of the things I like to do, if it's a shared bathroom, make sure that anything personal is removed. We don't want to see a toothbrush or a razor anywhere.
Right.
Okay, make sure there's fresh toilet tissue and it's folded in a V. Make sure there's a dimmer switch so you can control the lighting.
Right.
Make sure you've got beautiful candles in there to make it even more romantic. Put a fragrant candle in there as well.
Right.
I think that's the most that you have to do
That's right.
in a
That's right.
bathroom.
That's right.
I don't think you have to
and
really
paper
carry...
towels.
Yes.
Because nobody wants to use the same towel over and over.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Because
so-
what I usually do is in my bathroom, I have a thing of linen towels and I have 2 garbage containers underneath. One
Right.
to put the hand towel in
Right.
and one for the refuse.
That's right.
And if you're having a large group of people, then put the paper towels
Right.
out there
Yes.
too because it works much easier for everyone.
Right, everyone. Perfect. This is from Mary G.
The only time I would carry the theme through to the bathroom would be Halloween.
Yes.
Let's
Or
be real.
Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, or Christmas,
Little
yeah,
Santa.
yeah.
This is from Mary G. When you're entertaining, is it okay to serve just sangria as your alcohol? I mean, to be a good host, do you have to have beer, wine, and other alcohol?
I think if you're entertaining, it's always good to be able to focus on one thing, but it's also good to have some backup. While 99% of us might love the sangria, 2 people might like a beer. While you might not have to have it out on display, it should be readily available for them. But that does mean to say that you have to have gin, scotch, vodka, and everything else. You're entitled to set up a limited bar as long as you've given it some thought. When someone comes in, you say, "What's the bar?" And there's like 10 bottles of mismatched wine and not very much ice.
Right.
It's not really inviting, is it?
Right,
I
right.
think the reason we entertain people is to make them welcome. And the
Right.
first thing you do to make someone welcome when they walk in your house is offer them something to drink. So make that your wow moment.
And
Particularly
also
having a lot of people.
And also, as a guest, when you go to the bar and you see, okay, there's sangria, and there's wine, and there's beer. So there's no point in asking for a
These are my
margarita
choices, yeah.
or a gin and tonic. You see what it is, and I think that's fair.
But it also depends how you put that out. If you have a nice ice bucket and you've got 15 different types of micro beers inside the ice bucket, you've taken beer and you've turned it into a beer
party.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now you've turned it into a beer experience. You know?
Right.
If the sangria is in a gorgeous pitcher and each of your glasses, or you've got 15 glasses on a tray and they've got the garnish inside them, you just have to add the liquid
Right.
to and the ice. It's easy. It looks elegant. It's really about using that first opportunity to make your guest feel welcome, make it a lasting opportunity.
Right. That's great. That's a lovely idea. This is from Lori. I'm moving into a house with my husband. We just got married. How do we negotiate each other's styles and compromise? Any tips? I'm not a fan of his furniture, but I don't want to be a tyrant.
Well, if we're still dealing with the sofa again, imagine what's going to happen with who gets to squeeze the toothpaste in the middle or the end of the tube.
Well, here we go.
I wear a lot of hats, but I think, first of all, your marriage is your joint statement of style. So hopefully you've crossed a bunch of those barriers. And I would kind of pick your argument slowly. I mean, if there's 5 pieces of furniture you want to get rid of, don't try and get rid of them all in the first go. I think at the end of the day, living together is a compromise.
Yes.
And it's how you're going to find your way, is how you navigate whether that chair goes or how it goes or how you get rid of that chair.
Right. I had to do. My husband and I have completely different styles, but we got there. This is from a Michigan parent. My daughter's going to college in the fall. Any tips on buying some items to decorate her dorm room and not make it look so drab?
Going to any one of these stores, Bed Bath & Beyond, Pier 1, Pottery Barn. I mean, there is such great stuff out there in terms of a room. And the most important thing is the bed. If you can get the bed to look good and buy a comforter set that's got a good set of 2 sets of sheets that you can turn around that are color coordinated.
Right.
Today, everyone is doing this work. You see the bed cover, the coverlet, it's all color coordinated, works together.
Right.
You don't have to worry about painting the room. I think it's about making the bed look as good as it possibly
Right.
can. A couple of pillows on there,
Right.
a beautiful rug and a chair to
Yes,
sit
yes,
inside with a
that's
couple
what
of
I did
cushions.
when I went to
Things that you
college.
could move easily from one dorm to another.
Right. And pictures of the family and stuff.
Absolutely.
That's
Things that
always
make it your home
Yes,
at home. A beautiful
exactly.
desk side lamp and a comfortable desk to work from.
We are completely out of time. We were out of time like 4 minutes ago, but I just had to get everything I could out of you.
Thank you,
I get very
Marlo.
greedy when you're here. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thank you.